Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, verse number 6. Anarthopashamam sakshat
अनर्थोपशमं साक्षात्
Bhakti Yogam Adhokshaje
भक्तियोगम् अधोक्षजे
Lokasya Janato Vidvams
लोकस्याजानतो विद्वांस्
Chakre Satvata
चक्रे
Samhitam.
सात्वतसंहिताम्
Anartha,
अनर्थ
things which are superfluous.
things which are superfluous
Upashamam,
उपशमं
mitigation.
mitigation
Sakshat,
साक्षात्
directly.
directly
Bhakti Yogam,
भक्तियोगम्
the linking process of devotional
the
service.
linking process of devotional service
Adhokshaje,
अधोक्षजे
unto the transcendence.
unto the transcendence
Lokasya,
लोकस्य
of the general mass of men.
of the general mass of men
Ajanataha,
अजानतः
those who are unaware of.
those who are unaware of
Vidvan,
विद्वान्
the supremely learned.
supremely learned
Chakre,
चक्रे
compiled.
compiled
Satvata,
सात्वत
in relation with the supreme truth.
in relation with the supreme truth
Samhitam,
samhita
Vedic literature.
Vedic literature
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: the material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth. Please repeat: the material miseries
material misery
of the living entity,
of the living entity
which are superfluous to him,
which are superfluous to him
can be directly mitigated
can be directly mitigated
by the linking process of devotional
by the
service.
linking process of devotional service.
But the mass of people
But the mass of people
do not know this,
do not know this,
and therefore
and therefore
the learned Vyasadeva
the learned Vyasadeva
compiled this Vedic literature,
compiled this Vedic literature
which is in relation to the supreme truth.
which is in relation to the supreme truth.
Purport: Srila Vyasadeva saw the all-perfect personality of Godhead. This statement suggests that the complete unit of the personality of Godhead includes his parts and parcels also. He saw, therefore, his different energies, namely the internal energy, the marginal energy, and the external energy. He also saw his different plenary portions and parts of the plenary portions, namely his different incarnations also, and he specifically observed the unwanted miseries of the conditioned souls who are bewildered by the external energy. And at last, he saw the remedial measure for the conditioned souls, namely the process of devotional service. It is a great transcendental science and begins with the process of hearing and chanting the name, fame, glory, etc. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Revival of the dormant affection or love of Godhead does not depend on the mechanical system of hearing and chanting, but it solely and wholly depends on the causeless mercy of the Lord. When the Lord is fully satisfied with the sincere efforts of the devotee, he may endow him with his loving transcendental service. But even with the prescribed forms of hearing and chanting, there is at once mitigation of the superfluous and unwanted miseries of material existence. Such mitigation of material affection does not wait for development of transcendental knowledge. Rather, knowledge is dependent on devotional service for the ultimate realization of the supreme truth. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च. श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
So, thank you very much for inviting me to speak on the subject. Therapy. Pretty good. Yeah. So here we are hearing that how anarthas upasamam sakshat, all these dirty things that is in the heart of the living entities can be mitigated or neutralized by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people don't know, so Vyasadeva wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hello, hello, hello. So you see, a very interesting point that Srila Prabhupada is making the purport is that just prior to this verse in 174,
Pachat Purusham Purnam
so
Jnana.
can you chant this verse?
Yes, Prabhu.
This one is not working?
No power.
Oh.
Bhakti Yogena Manasi
Bhakti Yogena Manasi
Samyak Pranihite Male
Sabhyat Pranite Male
Apashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Chatad Apashrayam. Thus he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism. And thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under full control.
So you see how he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah? And he saw not only the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he also saw,
Maya.
yeah, right? He saw also the Maya which was fully under the control of the
Supreme
Lord.
Lord.
But in the purport today, Prabhupada is saying that he not only saw that, he saw the Lord, he saw his all his incarnations, he saw the material energy, he saw the part and parcel of the living entity, and he also saw that how the living entity is suffering in the material world, and then he saw also the solution of the problem for the living entity. In other words, he saw the complete picture. Okay? And that means the realized soul. A realized soul, he sees everything, not that he sees only one thing. You follow this point? Yeah? That's why once you know Krishna, that means you see everything. You understand? You understand everything. Right? This is Bhagavad Gita also, 15:19, no? Can you read?
Yo mamevam masammudho जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत. Whoever knows me as a Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is a knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
So you see the point here? He knows everything. If he knows Krishna, he knows everything. Not that he knows Krishna, he knows only something. No. Complete. Everything means everything. Eh? That's why in the Bhagavad Gita again, 7.1. Again Krishna says, 7.1, you can read. Right? 7.1.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Mayasaktamanah Partha
Maya saktamana partha
Yogam Yunjanmadashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasyasi Tachrunu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt."
See, if you practice devotional service, you can know the Lord in full. Then the next verse he says,
Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyamya sheshatah yajnatva neha bhuyonyad jnatavyam avashishyate. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
so he said, you can know me 7.1, fool. But he described what is that fool. That fool means the material and spiritual. Everything. Everything he understands in. That means he can see everything very clearly. 5.16. Bhagavad Gita. Kora Gita. See?
Jnane tu tad ajnanam yesham nashitam atmanah tesham aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then this knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime.
So, like the comparison to the sun, in the darkness you cannot see nothing, but when the sun comes up, everything is very clear. See? So, you see, by this knowledge, everything becomes
Clear.
everything, not just that you see only one thing, you see, everything full. Samagraham, that's now what? 7.1, no?
Asamshayam samagram mam.
Asamsayam,
Samagram mam.
Samagraham, full. Samagram means what?
Full.
Everything. So what is that three things Prabhupada described here? All his incarnations. Not only the Lord, his incarnation, his plenary portion, part parcel of him, the material energy, why the living entity is suffering. See, 175. Yaya sammohitam jiva
यया सम्मोहितो जीव आत्मानं त्रिगुणात्मकं परोऽपि मनुते नर्थं तत्कृतं चाभिपद्यते. Due to the external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries.
So you see how the living entity is suffering, he saw also that. And then he saw also the solution. Right? That's why today was, he saw the living entity suffering and he saw the process of how the living entity can be delivered.
Mitigated from the suffering.
Yeah? Isn't it? The next verse that.
Root cause is he thinks he is a product of material world. Root cause is that why he is suffering. Vyasdeva says here, Sudagosam is saying,
Things
root cause of suffering, no? But exactly point, what is the root cause of point? Root cause of
He's
suffering.
asking what is the root cause of material suffering?
Root cause of suffering.
He thinks is a
Is that
So to understand that, we have to go to this verse 6154.
6:1
Madhya.
Madhya.
This is from the Madhya Lila. This is from Vishnu Purana.
Vishnu Purana.
You got it?
Yes, Prabhu. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta
Vishnu Sakti Para Prokta
Kshetrajñakhya Tatha Para Avidya Karma Sangyanya Tritiya Shakti Rishyate. The internal potency of the Supreme Lord Vishnu is spiritual as verified by the Shastras. There is another spiritual potency known as Kshetrajna or the living entity. The third potency, which is known as nescience, makes the living entity godless and fills him with fruitive activity.
So you see, the three energies. One, the spiritual energy, to call Bahiranga Sakti. Then there is the external energy called Bahiranga, Antaranga and Bahiranga. Then there is the living entity, in the Tatata Shakti.
Tatastha Shakti.
So the Maya, when he covers the living entity, he makes him godless and make him work like an ass. You understand? You want somebody to translate for him to Telugu? He understands? You understand?
he understands, only cannot speak, but he understands.
He understands. Oh, so come forward. Why you sit there so back? Otherwise, can have a translator, no? So you see, the living entity, when he is covered by Maya, he becomes godless, and he becomes, he make him work like an
ass.
This is how Maya covers him. You see, the next verse. Smo explains that point. You see, 155.
Yeah, 155. Translation, Prabhu? Or the verse?
Just translation.
Just translation, okay. O king, the Kshetrajna Shakti is the living entity. Although, Madhya 6155. O king, the Kshetrajna Shakti is the living entity. Although he has the facility to live in either the material or spiritual world, he suffers the threefold miseries of material existence because he is influenced by the avidya or the nescience potency which covers his constitutional position.
Which covers him?
Constitutional position.
Covers his constitutional position. So this is what happens, you see. That is also explained in that 177.
Simply by one's giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of
You
Godhead,
have to read. You have to read in such a way that you emphasize the. I told you the last time. You're not blindly just reading like that. You understand? There's a reading, and because there's no screen down there now. You understand that? Can you do that?
simply by one's giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness.
So these are the anarthas that covers the living entity. What?
Lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness.
Lamentation, illusion,
Fearfulness.
and fearfulness. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna had something, attachment. Vita raga bhaya krodha, man mana. Can you 410? So he explains again what is this. Here is what? Lamentation with what is it? Soka.
Yeah. Lamentation,
Soka.
fearful.
Bhaya, soka.
Lamentation, fear, illusion, and fearfulness.
Illusion, lamentation, and fearfulness. Whereas here, Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita 4:10. Can you read that?
Yes, Prabhu.
Vitta raga bhaya krodha.
Vidaraga bhaya krodha.
Vitta raga bhaya and krodha.
Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me.
Again, the same point. You see, you understand the similarity? Because here Krishna added the word attachment and he added the word anger. Yeah?
Yes.
You-
Attachment.
You understanding? Hello? Arthaminda. Huh?
4:10 Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 10.
So you see, the whole process is that this attachment to Maya brings about all this kind of anartha. Anartha upasamam sakshat is today's verse, you see. So the anarthas are all this attachment,
Fear, anger.
anger, and vitta, raga, bhaya, krodha, fear. But so shoka, moha, and bhaya.
Yes, Prabhu.
They all these three things are all what do you call that?
Anartha.
And how this comes about to you? How does this covering works? Of course, the covering works through the modes of material nature. That means the three gunas, correct?
Yes.
But particularly, it acts on your mind. So when the mind is completely attached to the modes, 565, then all these bad qualities will come.
The mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. Combined, these constitute bondage to fruitive activity. What learned man would put faith in the mind?
So you see how this thing works, you see. You understand? You're going to get to all this attachment, fear, and how does this come about? By that one thing called the element of mind.
Mind.
You follow? Yes?
Yes.
So because of the mind, Purida, because of the mind, all these things are coming. Yes? Correct? So then, what is the solution? So he saw the solution also. Then he wrote down, because all don't know. That's why I say lokasya ajananto. Nobody knows. See? That's why he said you have to go to a realized soul. Tad vidhi parnipatena pariprasne sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. So you see that verse. Krishna says you must go to a self-realized soul. This self-realized soul means that he is somebody like Vyasadeva, that he can see. What is Krishna explained in the next verse? You see? What is he seeing? 435. He is seeing. What is he seeing? You see?
Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion, for by this knowledge you will see that all living beings are but part all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine.
See? In other words, he sees the spiritual position of the living entity. He does not see the material. And this knowledge, just like Vyasadeva is giving in the Srimad Bhagavatam, is giving in the Bhagavatam, this Bhagavatam knowledge he sees. Therefore, when he gets this knowledge, he never go back to Yagyantva na punar moham. He will never go into illusion again. You understand this? That he will not, because he understands. So this whole process of getting this realization can only come from a realized soul. You cannot try to get this on your own strength. This is not possible. That is explained in this 11:22:10.
Because a person who has been covered by ignorance since time immemorial is not capable of affecting his own self-realization, there must be some other personality who is in factual knowledge of the absolute truth and can impart this knowledge to him.
So see, because he cannot, Maya has covered him so much that it is not possible for him to figure this out. That's why this verse today, Anartha Upasamam Sakshat, is covered completely. Lokasya,
Ajanata.
you cannot figure out. You understand? Therefore, this Vidwan, who is the Vidwan?
Vyasadeva.
Vyasadeva. He saw this. Vidwan means someone who's, highly learned, he sees. And he already, before this verse, he already explained, I saw. I saw the Lord, I saw the living entity, I saw everything. You see? So you have to go to such a person to figure this out, how to come out. So then he saw also the process of devotional service. Although the mind is binding the living entity completely, that's from the battery, I think. Although the living entity is bounded by this material energy, through, I have explained, by the mind, yes? And because of the mind's association, the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, similarly, he will get implicated. Yes?
Yes.
So now, although the mind is such a, element that got binded, but again, with the help of the mind, you can also get liberated. You see? This is explained in this verse 6:16-24. And the analogy is given is like iron. Yeah?
As iron has the power to burn when made red hot in the association of fire, so the body, senses, living force, mind, and intelligence, although merely lumps of matter, can function in their activities when infused with a particle of consciousness by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As iron cannot burn unless heated by fire, the bodily senses cannot act unless favored by the Supreme Brahman.
So that, you see, you understand this verse? The mind is the cause of bondage, correct? But the same mind, like an iron, it is cold. But when you heat it up, it becomes what?
Almost like fire.
It's like fire. Yeah? The same way, your mind, if it is in touch with the Supreme Lord, that's why the Lord said, Man mana bhava mad bhakta madhyaji mam namaskar. Man mana. What is it?
Think of me.
Engage your mind in.
Thinking of me.
So that's devotional service. So although we are implicated with the mind as the embodiment, giving us so much material misery, yeah, that's also explained in that verse. Mamayangso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manaha shastrendriyadi paktisthana kashyati. Correct?
Yes.
Yes? So the mind is implicated or implicating the living entity because he has caught him over. You see? So, but the same mind is like the iron, you burn it, it becomes fire. The same mind, if you engage in devotional service, then it will liberate you. You follow? It will what? So devotional service, that's why man mana bhava mat bhakta. My bhava, yeah. My bhava means what? Bhava is, what's the meaning of this word bhava? Huh? In English, Prabhu translate as
Mellow.
mellows. But I feel you understand. Bhavam, they say in Tamil, enna bhavathil irukkudu.
Bhavam.
That means what is your consciousness at, correct? So if you can bring your bhava to that of Krishna, thinking of him, feeling of him, everything about him, bhavam, correct? Yeah, you understand that word, bhavam? Man mana bhava mat bhakta.
Bhakta.
This can only be done in devotional service.
Service.
So devotional service is very, very powerful, that it can liberate your mind. Man mana bhava mat bhakta madhyaji mam namaskaro evayasi
Mami Veshisi Yukte.
mame vyasi satyam te.
Pratijane Priyosi me.
Huh?
Pratijane Priyosi me.
This is one verse, but
Mame Veshisi Yuktaivam Atmanam Matparayana.
can you go to that?